Hello, super scientists. Thanks for watching this weekly Connect. We are going to be continuing on in our summer of science, and this week we're going to be in 1 Kings. We're going to be in chapter 17 and chapter 18 as well. So we're going to be teaching the kids that God provides for his followers. And what better story to do that with than the story of King Ahab and Elijah when Elijah prayed for rain. So at the beginning of the story, for the storyteller, go ahead and read that over if it's been a while since you've read it. You can read, I would read the passage from the Bible, obviously, first, and then go ahead and read what is prepared for you in the curriculum. But what the gist of it is that King Ahab and his people were once again denying God or just going off with false gods, right? So they were all praying to Baal and there are millions of other gods that they had made and made up. And God had enough, and he said, that's it. No more rain. We're going to just stop the rain. There's going to be a horrible drought. I want you to tell them everybody's going to be upset. So after you tell them that there's not going to be any more rain, you need to hide away. And this is so cool. So of course Elijah tells them they're mad at him, right? And then the king is looking everywhere for Elijah. But God's plan was to have Elijah go and hide in like a cave area. And he hid away for 3 full years. God had birds, the ravens, feed him. He had a little brook right by him so he could have water. So for 3 whole years he hid away. And then God said, okay, it's time. This drought has been horrible. King Ahab really, he's ready to talk to you. It's time. You can go back and you can talk to him. And then that's when this like competition between the gods, right? The pretend gods and the one true God happened with Elijah. So if it's been a while since you've read that, read it. You know what? Even if it hasn't been a while, read it anyways. It's such a great story. So that will be in Kings 18 when we talk about when God actually makes it rain. Then you have your blessing, you have your after story time questions when you go back to your room, and then we are going to make it rain in our classrooms. So all of you will have a big mason jar type thing just like this. You will have a tin pan like this, and then if you're at the Thornton campus, you will have ice and hot water in room 201. So there's a freezer in there. There'll be a percolator in there that will have the hot water because it needs to be pretty hot. And you can just have your kids or the helpers bring this in and just fill it up to about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway with that hot water carefully so they don't get hurt. I did get these that have handles on it, so that should help them to carry that. And then they're going to have a tin pan, and if they get in the freezer, there'll be a whole bag of ice, and they can just fill their tin pan just so the whole bottom of it is covered with ice. And now we're going to make it rain. So you're going to put the ice in that tin pan. You're going to let it sit there and get pretty cold, and then you're going to add your water. I just used the microwave, so let me add this in here now. So it's not going to be as hot. Your water will be hotter. And then you take your tin pan and you put it right over, I guess that would help if I showed you, right over where the hot water is. And then talk to the kids about what they're seeing. So right away, this just was on, my pan was cold because I had the ice sitting in it while I was telling you the directions. The water's hot, not as hot like I said as yours, but you can start seeing some condensation already happening on here. And we're going to be talking about how we can make rain in our little experiment. All right, so you're just gonna let it sit there for a little bit. You can lift this up and show the kids how there's the condensation underneath there, and you can see the rain drips. Well, maybe you can't on this because I'm holding it too high. There's rain drips in there. And then after you let it sit for a while, you should be able to just knock it down and get the rain water in there. And so we're gonna talk to the kids about how God made it so cool. That's really cool. So that is your science experiment. If you're in the classroom. If you are the leader, obviously, if you're the storyteller, you're going to be coming up with your own science experiment. But we're going to be talking to the kids about how we can make rain, but really we can just do like a little science experiment like this. But in the real world, like God is the only one that can make rain. And even though King Ahab and all of his 400 prophets and all the people that were following Baal were praying to their God, and praying for him to light a fire, make it rain, any of these things, he could do nothing. But our true God, the one true God, provides for us, and he makes it rain. And he provides for us in such cool ways, like he knew that the king and the people were going to be mad at Elijah, so he had the birds feed him. I just think the whole thing, it's just such an amazing, awesome, true story. And so I hope that you can feel the awe in this, and then they can have the wow when you make it rain in your room. So that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about how God's power is like the wind. We're going to be talking about Philip and the Ethiopian. So be prepared for that as well. Have a great, great week. And I cannot wait to work with you guys on Sunday. Thanks so much. Bye.